Hello everyone, this is Mr. Ahmed Faidi from Manasik Farouk Elementary School, and today inshallah I will help you to review your last lesson in geometry, lesson 7, application of proportionality in the circle, and we will start with secant and tangent and measures of angles. And we studied before the measure of an angle formed by two chords. If we have angle and formed by two chords like angle AEC, okay, and intersect inside the circle, its measure equal half the sum of measures of the intersected arcs. So in this figure we have angle AEC. So if you want to find the measure of angle AEC, so angle AEC is inside the circle, so measure of angle AEC equal half measure of arc AC plus measure of arc DB. Or we can say measure of arc AC plus measure of arc DB divided by 2 equal measure of angle AEC. And number 2, the measure of an angle formed by two secants drawn from a point outside the circle is equal half the positive difference of the measures of the intersected arcs. So if you want to find measure of angle E, if you want to find measure of angle E, so measure of angle E equals half the difference because E outside the circle. If E inside the circle, so we make plus of measure of arc AC plus DB divided by 2. If E outside the circle and E is the result of intersection of two secants in the circle, so measure of angle E equals half measure of arc AC minus arc DB, measure of arc DB. Have the positive difference. It means we'll start with the big value, which is big measure, which is AC, then subtract from it BD, measure of small arc. Have measure arc minus a minor arc. Or we can write it as measure of arc AC minus measure of arc DB divided by 2. And we have well-known problem. The measure of an angle formed by a secant and a tangent. If we have tangent and secant to the circle, drawn from a point outside the circle, which is point A, is equal to half the positive difference of the measure of the intersected arcs. It's mean angle A subtended arc BD, which is the measured arc, and arc BC. And angle A is outside the circle. So if we want to find measure of angle A, we will find the positive difference between the two arcs. So I will start with the big arc, which is BD minus BC. So measure of angle A half measure of arc BD, open bracket, half times measure of arc BD minus measure of arc BC. Or we can write it as measure of arc BD minus measure of arc BC divided by 2. And we have second case, intersection of two tangents to a circle. If we have two tangents to a circle, we have tangent AB and tangent AC, and we want to find the value of angle A or measure of angle A. So angle A outside the circle is also half measure of angle BXC minus half measure of arc BC. Half measure of arc BXC minus measure of arc BC. Or we can write it as measure of arc BXC minus measure of arc BC divided by 2. So we have example number 4. In each of the following figures, find the value of symbol used in measure. So we have the two chords CD and AB intersect at this point, and we want to find the value of X. So we say if we want to find the measure of angle X equals so angle X, if we want to find the value of angle X, so we will make plus measure of arc AD plus measure of arc BC divided by 2. So we have measure of arc AD 110 plus measure of arc BC, which is 60 degree, divided by 2. So it will be 85 degree. Another example. We have the two straight lines AB intersect with straight line CD. So this point is point E. So since AB straight line intersect with CD straight line at the point E, so we have angle, this angle is X, and we want to find the value of X. Therefore, X equals measure of arc DB plus measure of arc AC divided by 2. Measure of arc DB plus measure of arc AC divided by 2. So 150 degrees plus 70 degrees divided by 2. So will be 110 degrees. And we have X and Y are two supplementary angles, therefore measure of angle Y equals 180 minus 110 will be 70 degrees. Another example, example C. We want to find the value of Z. So Z is the measure of arc AD. And we have the internal angle, which is, if this point is E, which is BEC. So you want to find the measure of arc AD. So we say before, if we want to find this angle, which is BEC, I will make BC arc, measure of BC arc plus measure of AD arc divided by 2 equals this angle. So I will make an equation, so measure of BD arc plus measure of AD arc divided by 2 equals this angle, which is 120 degrees. So measure of arc BD 165 degrees plus measure of arc AD, which is Z, divided by 2 equals 120 degrees. So 2 will go to the other side, multiply. So 165 plus Z equal 120 multiplied by 2 will be 240 degrees. So I want the value of Z. So angle, the measure of arc AD, which is Z, equals 240 degrees minus 165 degrees. So Z equals 35 degrees. Sorry, measure of angle Z will be 75 degrees. 75 degrees. And we have another example, example D. We have AC and EA, two sequences intersect at the point E. So since E or CD, sorry, CD straight line, since CD straight line intersect with AB straight line at the point E, therefore measure of angle E, which is X, equal measure of arc AC, which is measure arc AC, minus measure of minor arc, which is BD, divided by 2. So X equal 115 degrees minus measure of arc BD 45 degrees divided by 2. So 115 minus 45 divided by 2 will be 35 degrees. Another example, letter E. So we have arc EC Y, and we want to find the value of Y, and we have measure of arc BD 56 and measure of angle A 47 degrees. So if we want to find the measure of arc EC, if we want to find measure of angle A, we make measure of arc EC minus measure of arc BD divided by 2. So measure of arc EC, since ED straight line intersect with BC straight line at the point A. Therefore, measure of arc EC minus measure of arc BD divided by 2 equals measure of angle A, equal measure of angle A. So measure of arc EC, which is Y, therefore Y minus measure of arc BD, which is 56 degrees, divided by 2 equals measure of angle A, which is 47 degrees. So Y minus 56 to go to the other side with times 47 multiplied by 2, so will be 94 degrees. So Y equal 94 plus 56 degrees. So measure of Y, or Y equal 150 degrees. If you want to check your answer, make 150 minus 56 divided by 2. So 150 minus 56 divided by 2 equals 47 degrees. Another example, we have AB intersect with CED at the point C, and we want to find DBE. So measure of arc AD minus measure of arc BE divided by 2 equals measure of angle C. So measure of arc AD 160 degrees minus measure of arc BE, which is Z, divided by 2 equals measure of angle C, which is 50 degrees. So 160 minus Z equals 2 by 50 will be 100. So 160 degrees minus Z equals 50 multiplied 2 will be 100. So we will take negative Z to the other side with positive, and 100 to the other side with negative. So 160 minus 100 equals Z. So Z equal 60 degrees. So we have another example, example 5, booklet page 105. Example B. So in this example, we want to find the value of Y, and we have angle A equals 70 degrees. So angle A between the two tangents AC and AB. The two tangents AC and AB intersect at the point A. Therefore, measure of arc CDB, measure of arc CDB plus measure of arc CB measure of arc CDB minus measure of arc CB minus divided by 2 equals 70 degree. So measure of angle CDB, we know that the measure of all circle equals 360. So if CB is y, so measure of arc CDB will be 360 minus y. So measure of arc CDB will be 360 minus y, and measure of arc CB y, so minus y again, divided by 2 equals 70 degree. So 360 minus 2y equals 2 by 70 will be 140. So we'll take negative 2y to the other side with positive, and 140 to the other side with negative. So 360 degree minus 140 equals negative 2y will go to the other side with positive, so equals 2y. 360 minus 140 will be 220 degrees equals 2y, so y equals 220 degrees divided by 2. So measure of y, or y equals 110